What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuff series. We're looking at a genius, an outstanding Mexican fighter, RECORDO Lopez, who was the WBC strawweight champion of the world. He was born in Mexico City, Mexico, July 25th, 1966, and he stood 5'5" and a quarter inches and weighed 110 pounds. Now, he retired undefeated of 54-0, and the only other fighter to retire undefeated would be Rocky Marciano, Young Mitchell, Jack McCarthy, Jimmy Barry, Laszlo Papp. Laszlo Papp was a phenomenon when it came to the amateurs. He won 3 Olympic medals. Fascinating. Terry Marsh, JUAN Kim, and Sharon Odie. These are the fighters that retired undefeated. Now, along those opponents, he would also fight fighters such as Alex Needy Sanchez, Oliver Venamore, King Young Lee, Will Grisby, Pretty Boy Lucas, Ray Hernandez, who he would take the title from, Rocky Lynn, just to name a few outstanding fighters. RECORDO Lopez would be inducted into the Boxing Hall of Fame in 2007 and International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2007 as well. In 1989, November 7th, he would face Ray Hernandez. And that fight would go 12 rounds before Ray Hernandez would be knocked out. And that fight would be for the WBC Continental Minimum Championship of the World. Fascinating. 1990, WBC WBA. Rosendo Alvarez was the opponent. And that fight was stopped in 8 rounds. And RECORDO Lopez would pick up the WBA strap. Fascinating achievement so far. Now, November 13th, Rosendo Alvarez, he would face him again. And the WBA championship would be stripped from him, from Lopez, because of weight issues. October 8th, Lopez would announce his retirement. And he said, "That's it, I'm done. I've accomplished all I needed to accomplish." But then he would come back in 2000 and 2001. He would pick up the IBF flyweight strap. And he would have a couple of defenses and he would retire officially. So a fascinating achievement and accomplishment by a very small Mexican fighter. He used to hold his hands up very high. Even before the bell rang, he would have his hands up high and ready. He was a phenomenal fighter. Beautiful jab. Beautiful side-to-side movement. He reminded me a lot of Alexis Arguello. A lot of people don't know. Alexis Arguello was a southpaw when he was a very young fighter. Then they switched him to an orthodox fighter. But fascinating fighter was RECORDO Lopez. I just wanted to acknowledge him. Dynamite Mexican fighter. Now, I have him ranked number 3 of the greatest Mexican fighters of all times. I have Julio Cesar Chavez number 1 and Salvador Sanchez number 3. Julio Cesar Chavez did more. He was in there with better fighters. Sanchez was an outstanding fighter. Fought Indian Red Lopez twice, but he wasn't in there with enough fighters. Yes, he was in there with Azuma Nelson and some other greats. But I would have liked to have seen, if Sanchez was around a little longer, I would like to have seen that rematch with Gomez. I would have liked to have seen him fight Alexis Arguello because that was scheduled. Too bad Roberto Duran moved up for welterweight to chase Leonard's welterweight strap, because I would have loved to have seen Salvador Sanchez face Roberto Duran at lightweight, or they could have met in the middle. Salvador Sanchez, I would have liked to have seen him fight Bazooka Limon or Bobby Chacon or one of those fighters. But I needed to see a little bit more for him to put him in front of Julio Cesar Chavez. RECORDO Lopez was a dynamite fighter, undefeated, 54-0. And because of his weight, he was in some of the greatest fighters of his weight division, if you study the history. So, fascinating team. Also, I would have Chalky Wright as number 4. Number 5, I would have Juan Manuel Lopez. I mean, there's so many great Mexican fighters. Morales has to go in there. There's a fighter by the name of Enrique Bolanos. A lot of people don't know who this fighter is. Outstanding Mexican fighter. Fought in the 50s and the 60s. I'll put Napoles in there, but This man here, Ricardo Lopez, was a dynamite fighter, great Mexican fighter. So salute to my subscribers, salute to Ricardo Lopez. This is Scrapbook Boxing. Thanks for hanging in there with me on Boxing Talk with Scrapbook. Once again, look out for ringside historians, myself, Kurt Sugar, as well as Ritual Boxing and documentaries. I enjoyed this conversation. Look out for many more. All great fighters will never be forgotten on my channel. Peace.